Hello, everyone. We appreciate your time today. We're going to give it just a couple minutes here and jump into the webinar. For the rest of you, we have a few people joining, and I want to give them just a few seconds to get logged on and make sure they don't have any issues. We appreciate your time today. We hope that we can keep this short and sweet and hopefully educational. And it looks like we've nearly maxed out our attendee list, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. One of the most common questions we have recently been fielding is what attorneys need to do with their mobile websites and what having a mobile website means, and does having a static website mean that their site is automatically mobile? And the answer to that question is no. And having a mobile site is extremely important. We'll cover some of these points in this webinar and go over some really interesting numbers and facts that I hope can convince you that looking into having a mobile website would be a good idea for your firm. Just some of the basics. Mobile websites, of course, it's fairly obvious. If you want to reach mobile searchers, you need a mobile site. 96% of consumers say they have encountered sites that weren't designed with mobile in mind, and that's obviously bad for business. If your site isn't designed for mobile searching or mobile viewing, it is going to be extremely difficult for browsers to navigate your site or even get content from your site or your phone number. Nonetheless, read what's actually on your site. I think one of the most important points, and I probably should have put this first, is mobile searches dominate desktop searches by 3-to-1 this year. That's 3 mobile searches via Google or Bing or Yahoo to 1 desktop search. Now, if that isn't enough data in and of itself to convince you to have a mobile website, I don't know what is. 48% of people reported they felt frustrated or annoyed when a prospective attorney's site wasn't optimized for mobile, and that's just for obvious reasons. They can't figure out how to call you, they can't figure out what type of attorney you are, and the other obvious facts. And the problem is big, and the opportunity is big as well. I mean, if 75% of users prefer mobile-friendly site, 90% of the consumers say they've encountered sites that were clearly not designed for mobile devices, I think that speaks for itself. It's a broad opportunity for attorneys who haven't yet got into this field, and to be honest, most attorneys are late adopters. And for those of you who are not, that's a good thing. For those of you who are, that's a bad thing. And we hope that you can take some of this information, think about it, formulate a strategy as to how you want to approach your mobile website, and then get into the game with the mobile site. Again, that's a big opportunity for attorneys. We have the same conversation with dozens of attorneys every week who talk about how to capture more customers or more prospective clients. And we tell them, look, you have to start getting your foot into these niches now, because it is very difficult to do it later. Again, we had the same situation with Google Places and Local, and now it's very difficult to rank well for it. And now it seems to be social media, and mobile sites are the next big thing, and it's not going away. I mean, mobile phones searches are outweighing desktop searches 3-to-1. Everyone has a mobile phone. In fact, more people have mobile phones than people have desktop computers, and that's just going to continue to grow. Mobile-friendly sites, the conversion, this is some data that's fairly founded, but yet I think still has some work to be done on it. But the fastest path to mobile clients is through a mobile site, obviously. When prospective clients visit a mobile-friendly site, 74% of them say that you're more likely to return to that site in the future, and 67% of those users say that when they visit a mobile-friendly site, they're more likely to buy or retain an attorney or product or service. I think this is fairly obvious. If someone comes to your site and they can extrapolate what data they're looking for, easily contact you, either fill out a form or email you from their phone, it makes fairly good sense that those numbers are going to be higher. Now, for attorneys who don't quite understand, why this would be important. I think that, we'll get into that a little bit later. Not having a mobile-friendly site helps your competitors, and I think that, we talked about this briefly in the first two slides. And for those of you who are early adopters, I think that, it's going to be great for you. For those of you who are not, it's going to be bad. But, when your competitors do not have a mobile site or don't feel like that they want to get in the game, that's certainly going to help you. 61% of users say they didn't find what they were looking for right away on a mobile site. They quickly move on. The majority of what people look for on a mobile site is a quick way to contact you. Some very brief information. It's very different than a desktop site. They are looking for directions to your office, click to call, or click to email. And if you can do those few things well, then typically you're going to have a fairly successful, high-converting mobile site. 79% of people say they didn't like what they find on one site will go back and search for another site, obviously. 50% of people said that even if they like a business, they will use them less often if a website isn't mobile-friendly. And I think that just correlates back to the fact that more people are doing searches on their mobile phone, and it's more of a brand impression at that point in time. And if someone doesn't have a positive impression of your brand when they're searching mobily, they're likely not to look for you when they're sitting down at their desktop. If you give someone a bad impression when they search for you mobily, it's likely that's going to translate to other portions of your business. A non-mobile friendly site can hurt your law firm's reputation, and I think we touched on that just in the last slide. But a site that's not optimized for mobile can leave your users feeling frustrated, and I feel frustrated. I look for services and products, restaurants, car dealerships, mechanics, and everything on my phone. If their site isn't mobile friendly, I go elsewhere. Most people who are in situations only have access to their mobile phone, and most of the time they're going to do their searches on their mobile phone. Again, 48% of the users say they feel frustrated and get to a site that's not mobile friendly. 36% feel like they've wasted their time by visiting those sites, and I tend to agree with them. 52% of consumers say that a mobile experience made them less likely to engage with an attorney, and I think that in and of itself is very powerful. If there's 3 mobile searchers to every 1 desktop searcher, and 50% of those, if not more, say they're less likely to engage with an attorney, that should be meaningful to many of you who are skeptical about having a mobile site or why they should have a mobile site. People are searching mobily. It's not whether or not you need a mobile site. It's more about what information and how soon can you get into a mobile site, and how effective is your mobile site, and then how well do you optimize it. 48% said that if a site didn't work well on their smartphone, it made them feel like a company didn't care about their business. And we hear this, even with standard sites, that if people don't take time to give their consumers or their prospective clients a positive impression via the website, their mobile site, their social media, and then reviews, people are much less likely to do business with you. It's the nature of the beast. We often hear attorneys who come to us and say, well, you should want to work with me because I'm the great attorney. Well, if consumers can't distinguish a great attorney via a website unless that website really communicates the overall value proposition or what they can expect from that attorney via mobile, social, or a standard website. And most attorneys don't do that effectively, and they wonder why their phone's not ringing, and or while they're a competitor who is 2 blocks down, who's only been practicing for 5 years, his business is blowing up, and they wonder why, because, well, that person's probably done a great job of, building positive brand impressions via mobile and social and their standard websites. I think the takeaways, mobile's critical. While all this research confirms what you probably already suspected, mobile users are going to seek out and engage with mobile-friendly sites. It's just a sobering reminder of how quickly and deeply users' attitudes can change, and I think that's what the takeaway from this is we were trying to give you some real hard facts, and these numbers are from Google, about how important having a mobile site is, in just a clearer understanding that just because you have a standard website doesn't mean that your site is mobile friendly. Most sites built even less than 2 years ago, even less than a year ago, are probably not what you would call a responsive website, meaning that it adapts itself to the platform in which the consumer, the prospective client, is viewing the site on. There are some very good alternatives for you. They are very cost effective. There's a lot of ways you can do it yourself. That's another webinar. We're happy to help you with that. I think that most people think it's daunting and very expensive. It's not true. There's very cost-effective ways of getting into the mobile arena. Having a great mobile site, it's just no longer about gaining a few clients. It's become about building your brand, nurturing lasting relationships, and making mobile work for you. I often give the example to attorneys saying, well, why do I need a mobile site? And I think people forget just how ADD Americans are, and they're on your way to your office when they've probably called 3 other attorneys and they're looking for directions, or they forgot your phone number, or they can't quite remember where they were going. So they do a mobile search for you and they can't find you. Your competitor site pops up. Well, that's meaningful. I know for a fact that many clients who are well optimized and have a great presence mobily and socially gain a lot of clients just from prospective clients making mistakes just like that. And it's a shame, because I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who have a great deal of experience, a wonderful education, have done some wonderful things in the legal field, but no one would know it. And that's because you're just not communicating that overall your value proposition to your consumers via all these mediums. Start today. We say this at the end of every webinar. We appreciate your time. We're here to help. There's a lot of companies who do this. We happen to be one of them. We certainly encourage you to do your homework. We hope that some of this information provided you with enough data to at least encourage you to look into mobile websites and giving it a shot. You can contact us if you have more questions. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to field questions via email. My direct number and my direct email is here. We will post this presentation here probably in about 12-14 hours on our blog for those of you who want to view it again. We appreciate your time, and we hope to see you next Thursday. Take care.